No problem. Mr. Evans, did you have any questions for the court at this time?
No, I'd like to know if I can get my bond reinstated.
You want to know if you can have what?
That was, he wants to discuss bond, Judge.
I think he does have one.
Judge, this was a weird one when I can tell the court a little bit about this. Mr. Evans and I, he was originally scheduled for a forensic review. He was out of custody at the time. He's originally scheduled for a forensic review. And somehow, to be clear, I don't think this was Mr. Evans's fault. Somehow I got a phone call from the forensic center saying that he missed it, even though my office never received notice from the forensic center that he had an appointment. And then the court had some concerns about Mr. Evans, potentially showing up late, or not potentially, but showing up late for court. I think at that time, the court, unless my notes are incorrect here, the court remanded him pending that evaluation. He does, in full disclosure, also have a bond violation pending, which I think is part of the issue. He had a drive-through of the GPS tether exclusion zone, was the allegation in the pending bond matter. I will say, for what it's worth, when he was out of custody, he was always showing up for court, sometimes late because he's not got rides easily, but he did always show up. He even showed up late on the day he got remanded, but he showed up.
I'm not sure how your office didn't get notice of the evaluation date, because our office got notice in September. So he was scheduled for December 11th.
And I think
There's mix-up because I heard it was December 1st. They told me it was December 1st. Now, how can it be 2 or 3 different days?
No, I know that we received, I know that we received notice on September 11th that you were going to have a
I didn't receive any notice of that.
why are you talking when I'm talking?
I'm just telling you, I didn't receive.
Why are you talking when I'm talking? Why are you talking when I'm talking?
Because I had that right.
Well, be quiet while I talk and don't cut me off anymore. So we received notice back in September that you were scheduled for a competency evaluation in December. Whether it was the 1st or the 11th really is not germane to the issue that you failed to appear, and we had notice. So I don't understand how we had notice, but you didn't have notice.
It was the lawyer's fault. It was not my fault. If I didn't get notice, how could I be there?
That's my concern. How did the court get notice and you didn't get notice? And I wasn't even talking to you. I was talking to your attorney. So why don't you be quiet so the attorney and I can work that out, okay?
I'm getting held.
Excuse me? I'm gonna ask you to be quiet one more time. I'm gonna ask you to be quiet one more time before I find you in contempt.
You can do whatever you want. I'm letting you know.
All right, you're in contempt, 93 days, Ingham County Jail. I'm not gonna go back and forth in the court trying to figure out why you didn't get notice. I'm trying to have a conversation with an attorney on the record. I don't have time for this. So you're remanded. We'll see you next week, okay? Or at your next court date. Bye. Okay, on the record in the matter of the state of Michigan versus Laprice Evans, 25-02611, appearance, please.
Good morning, Your Honor. APA Bart Buxton on behalf of the people of the state of Michigan.
And good morning, Your Honor. Robert Palmer, the Public Defender's Office, on behalf of Laprice Evans, who's seated to my right.
That's something that could be fleshed out further if this matter goes to trial. I think there is sufficient probable cause, though, based on the testimony, to bind over count 1, and count 2 will accompany count 1 to the circuit court. Bind over date being February 25th. Will be the date the circuit court receives the file from the district court. Not a court date for you, okay, Mr. Evans? Your next court date will be a pretrial. Your attorney will be made aware of that date. Do you have any questions today?
As Ms. Palmer had explained to me, well, first of all, I would like to get the forensics report. Secondly, Mr. Palmer had advised that he was not going to be representing my case any longer, and that different counsel will be appointed.
I don't know anything about you getting a new attorney or a new appointment. The public defender's office appointed Mr. Palmer, and if they decide they're going to remove Mr. Palmer and put someone else, that's their business. The court doesn't have any involvement in that. He's the one who's been assigned to handle your case. Now, if you're requesting for a new attorney, and you want to hire your own attorney, then you need to get your money together and or find you another attorney. But you don't get to decide which public defender represents you. Do you understand that?
Yeah, of course I do. I'm just saying this is what it just.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not sure that if that's the case, again, the court would have no knowledge and or input on which public defender gets assigned to your case. And so at this time, Mr. Palmer is the one who's been assigned. If they're going to switch that, that's up to the public defender's office. The court doesn't have any involvement in that.
Just to be clear, Judge, I did advise him that it is not anything that has to do with Mr. Evans. It is the fact that I have accepted a new position outside of the public defender's office. And so I'm leaving. There was at one time a discussion that Mr. Evans may be assigned new counsel prior to today's date so that that individual could be present to conduct the preliminary examination.
Okay.
For reasons I don't understand. That didn't happen. But I did advise Mr. Evans that I will not be his counsel after today.
Got it. So you're leaving the public defender's office.
I am,
Got
yes,
it.
ma'am.
Okay, well, congratulations to you.
Thank you.
And so for those reasons, obviously, you would have to get a new attorney because he won't be there to represent you. Again, the court has no input of who that attorney is going to be. It'll be someone assigned by the chief public defender. Okay.
Can I address the court? Like a copy of the forensics report that I had?
Did your attorney
I can give it.
got a copy of the forensic report and can get you a copy?
Yep,
Okay,
I've got a note about
I'd
that.
also like to state that on the date of the 10th of December, Mr. Palmer had called me at approximately 3:30 on that day and explained to me that I would be detained because I missed the forensics examination, which I had no knowledge of. It gave me no information of that date. I was in constant company with pre-trial and was on tether, so there was no way to have been recognized that they've been recognized for forensics. So with that being stated, ma'am, the other day, went to court on the 30th or something. I had just woke up, had no pre-knowledge of that I was even going to court. Like 10 minutes, they're like, Evans, you're going to court. I'm like, what? I didn't have no knowledge of it was a court date scheduled for me. So, with that, ma'am, I was a little groggy, uncomprehensive, as you might say, and this is how we ended up getting me the 90 days. With that being said, ma'am, I would like to know if you would try to at least give me some credit for that the days that I've already served on that contempt charge and reinstate my bond.
You got found in contempt because of your disruptive behavior, not because you were groggy.
Understandable, man, but I'm just letting you know that my due process of rights has to be a certain amount of time before you get to be acknowledged that you go to court. I had no knowledge of that.
Not for direct contempt. You were disrespectful and caused a complete disruption to me in court. Excuse me?
There was no precedent.
So now you get to determine contempt in my court.
No, ma'am.
Okay. The contempt will stand. It's 93 days, Ingham County
Okay,
Jail.
well, what about what he has done, like as far as like me not having understanding?
Well, who has done?
What he did,
Who is
as
he?
far as
Your attorney?
Mr. Palmer. I stated that on the 10th. He called me and said that I missed a court date on the first.
He didn't do anything. So you're trying to blame it on him that you missed the
Well, ma'am, I
competency?
didn't have any knowledge of my competency hearing.
Okay, so there was more than two things going on here. There was also a court date scheduled here for December 11th that you didn't appear.
No, I did. I was here. Yeah, when I got here, you weren't here, and Mr. Palmer was not.
Just to be
This
clear,
guy right here, this guy was here, and there was a black lady over there that was there.
Judge, just to be clear on that date, he did appear eventually. By my notes, he appeared a couple of hours afterwards. I think he had transportation issues.
And he was remanded for failure to appear
Yeah, I was stuck in the snow. But what I'm saying, is I'm asking you that, what is the deal with him not giving me, I didn't even have any knowledge that I had a competency hearing date, and I was remanded on the next day that I went to court. You see what I'm saying? So, like, I shouldn't even been in jail. I should just now be going to jail, but I'm like, there's like 60 or 70 days of my life that, we're unaccounted for, and he's responsible for it.
He's responsible for 60
Ma'am,
days of
he
your
did
life.
not give me, he did not.
Man, sir,
I'm trying to
sir,
tell
see,
you,
this is how you got here in the first place.
Ma'am, he did not
This is how
give
we
me-
got here in the first place. Did you give me an opportunity to finish my sentence before you cut me off to yell over me?
Well, that's what I was.
No, I'm asking you a question. What was my question I was about to ask you?
You didn't finish it.
Why? Because you cut me off.
Well, man, you cut me off too.
No, I didn't. And if I did, I get to cut you off at a portion that I need clarity for. I am the one running the court, not you.
I understand. Well,
So when I cut you off, it's because at this very point, I need some clarification. So you have to stop to allow me to get clarification right there. Do you understand
I
that?
understand.
So you're saying that you did not know that you were supposed to have a competency evaluation, and that Mr. Palmer was responsible for letting you know that?
Yes, he was.
It's fine.
Judge, I think that's actually true. I want to be, I'm an officer of the court, and I think I absolutely have an obligation to be
I agree.
100% truthful with the court. So I'm not going to try to hide anything here. I was not aware, and I've been looking into this as to why, but I did not see the competency or the order for his appointment until after the fact. I have some suspicions on why that happened. I have some suspicions about why that happened, and I'm just going to say that regardless of why I think it happened, it is ultimately my responsibility. I don't want to pass the buck. I don't want to try to make the court think I'm passing the buck to anyone else. I will fall on the sword and take responsibility for that. What I will say is that, and so I think to some extent, Mr. Evans is correct in what he's saying. And I don't want him
That
to
he
be.
was remanded, but it was not his error. It was he did not have knowledge.
I think that's true, Judge. And one of the things I just want to remind, to at least to my recollection of what happened. I started to address this very issue at our last court hearing, and then Mr. Evans was also talking, I'll put it that way, while I was trying to make the record, and the court found him in contempt before I could really get into that issue.
I didn't find him in contempt for talking.
Or for speaking over you and interrupting the court.
No, he berated the court.
Right. I'm not trying to.
And he thinks it's funny.
I understand, Judge.
He said that he thinks it's funny. Listen, if
This
there's,
is following the court, so.
Excuse me?
This is following the court, so for what?
I don't know what you're saying.
You don't know what.
It's
fraud of court
I didn't
is?
hear what you said. I don't know what you're
You know
saying.
Fraud of the court is?
Fraud. I didn't know what you were saying. I wanted you to repeat it. What's fraud on the court?
Fraud of the court.
It's not fraud of the court. The court has there was the responsibility of your attorney
Which is what my.
to notify you. This is what this says, that you were scheduled for an appointment with forensics, which the court ordered you to undergo some forensics. I don't know what the breakdown between you and your attorney was, because that's nothing to do with me. That has to do with you and your attorney. If there was a breakdown in the communication where there was your attorney didn't get the notice, or your attorney did get the notice and didn't get it to you, that's between you all. Before he could address that, which was last week, or a week ago, a little bit over that. Before he could address that, you became disruptive and we could not carry on a hearing. So I had to remand you because I couldn't get you to be quiet over there.
That's not true, man.
Court in an open court.
Yeah, but
It was not, it's not, you can feel free to FOIA and or subpoena a copy of the record if you would like to.
Yeah,
The court made its ruling, then the court stands by the ruling. Regardless of whether or not there was an error made by your attorney, does not give you grounds to come into the courtroom and be disruptive.
We violated my rights.
And then I didn't violate your rights. You came in here today and tried to say the reason why you were disruptive is because you were groggy. Now it's because your rights were violated.
Ma'am, you misinterpreted.
You can be excused. You can be excused. I can carry on the remainder of the hearing without you. You're all set. You're all set. You're all set.
I know I am said you lost the words here.
Yep. You can get another 93 days. All set.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, another 93 days.
Whatever, kids.
He was not found in contempt because he was talking. It's because he's disgustingly disrespectful.
Your Honor, I'd like to go a step further. I was there for that hearing.
Thank you.
Your Honor was attempting to figure things out with the forensic review process with Mr. Palmer. And you turned at one point and said, I'm trying to figure this out for you, something along those lines. And that's when you were yelled at by the defendant over Zoom. So I'd just like to put that on the record as well, that you and Mr. Palmer were trying to resolve the issue when you were interrupted.
Now, well, it's consistent with the behavior that we've seen of Mr. Evans throughout this matter. And so that's neither here nor there. It's unfortunate that he was not the person who was at fault, it sounds like, for missing the forensic, but that does not give him grounds to come in and disrespect this court. And he will not get credit because of your error for coming in here, A, calling me out of my name, B, disrupting the process. So that's that. And he's getting an additional 93 days for contempt of court today that will be served consecutive to the one he's serving now.